All right, welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. Johnny North is with me today on the show. WWE Clash of Champions preview. Roman Reigns versus Jay Uso. And other big matches that we will preview here on the program. We'll also talk about the late great Road Warrior Animal passing away this week. And NXT has COVID-19. It is Wrestling Uncensored. Big Johnny is with me. RingsideReport.net is our website. This, of course, one of the many shows that we offer on the Ringside Report Network. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook Live. And we are also on Twitch. You can get us now on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ringside Report. Check us out. Follow us on all the social media and also support our sponsors. Don't forget to hit us up on Super Chat if you're watching us here on the premiere on YouTube, but also support the sponsors, support the Ringside Report Network, Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code Ringside20 for 20% off plus free shipping on your order. Manscaped.com, promo code Ringside20 for 20% off and free shipping. IP Vanish. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net. Protect yourself on the internet. Protect yourself at all times with IP Vanish, vpn.ringsidereport.net. And, of course, Stitcher Premium. Go to stitcher.com/premium and use the promo code Ringside when you sign up. You get a free month with the promo code Ringside. Great audio service. Stitcher.com/premium. Promo code Ringside. So Clash of Champions is coming up here on Sunday. We'll be doing a watch-along as we do on the channels for every WWE pay-per-view, every UFC pay-per-view as well. If you want to check out the UFC 253 watch-along, that'll be going down Saturday night, tonight, if you're watching us Saturday morning, which is when this show right here, Wrestling Uncensored, premieres. So tonight will be UFC 253, and we'll be watching it on pay-per-view. 10 p.m. is when the pay-per-view will start. We'll be on YouTube talking about it. We'll be on Twitch. We'll be on Facebook Live, all simultaneously streaming on all the different platforms. Myself, Freddie, and AJ talking about what we're watching at UFC 253. It really doesn't get much better than Ringside Report, the Ringside Report team, for your mixed martial arts coverage. We are all martial artists, lifelong martial artists, deep in the game, connections in the game. We know what we're talking about. We've been on the mats. We sweat. We feel the pains of martial arts, and we watch the UFC, and we understand what's going on. So we help you understand what's going on if you're not so aware. And if you are aware, well, then you like us because you're aware that we're aware. And I am aware that Johnny North is one of the best guys to talk pro wrestling with because he is a professional wrestler. He is the man. He is North Genesis. And he is excited for Clash of Champions, by God. Johnny North, are you hyped for this pay-per-view? You're not, right? You're not hyped for much. I can't remember the last time you were, excited for a pro wrestling pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's been a while. I was excited for WrestleMania. I have to say
Were
that. I was really looking forward to it. Yeah, because we were debating if that was even...
You were complaining.
Yeah, we were actually debating if that was actually going to happen. No, 2 nights. I like 2 nights because the problem was one night where it's 8 to 10 hours. That's way too long, but spread over 2 nights, that's ideal, and that's the way it should be going forward. By the way, it's great to be back.
Yes, it is great to be back, right? We were off last week. Isn't that weird? Isn't it weird to be off, John? Feels like I haven't spoken to you in months. We took our 1 week off of the year. I think that was the only week that we've been off in all of 2020. Despite the pandemic, despite, holidays, Christmas, New Year's, whatever happens, we don't usually take any time off. I usually take 2 or 3 weeks during the summer, but that didn't happen this year because I couldn't leave the province pretty much because everything's locked down. So I took, 4 or 5 days off last week, and Ringside and Wrestling Uncensored got a little bit of a break ski. But, that's our first off week, right? That's the first time we haven't done a show all year.
Well, and people let me know about it, saying like, "Oh, is there a show next week?" And I let them know, yes, we are having
Yes.
a show.
We deserve a little break, right? Little vacation once in a while, John. Recharge the old batteries.
Well, if anything, it's usually a 3-week break, so they kind of got lucky this year.
Yeah, that's right. I should have been off for way longer than this. I kind of need it. I don't feel like my batteries are fully charged, but hey, man, I can operate at 80% and still be doing real good, brother. Full of energy, full of testosterone, going crazy. Okay, let's talk about wrestling. This pay-per-view, I think it's gonna be pretty good. Like, there are some matches on this thing that I am legitimately excited for.
I got one. That's it.
Yeah, well, that one is pretty damn awesome, and I know which one you're talking about. The triple threat ladder match. AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Sami Zayn. Triple threat ladder match to determine the real Intercontinental Champion. Of course, Sami Zayn was the champion, defended the title at WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan, then decided to go home because he wasn't comfortable with the WWE's COVID-19 protocol, which, if he had stayed, he may have contracted COVID-19. But the WWE, of course, painting Sami Zayn as the bad guy for leaving. He's not saying exactly why he was gone. He says he had his own reasons, personal reasons. AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy both taking shots at Sami Zayn on SmackDown this week about him not being around and giving up the title. So, of course, when Sami decided to take a few months off to evaluate the WWE's pandemic protocol, which at first was just testing your temperature. They weren't even doing COVID tests. Now they're testing their talent. And a bunch of people in NXT apparently tested positive. So much so that they've delayed their next set of NXT tapings till next week, which we'll get to. But Sami Zayn was uncomfortable. He's the bad guy for it, of course. In the meantime, AJ Styles won an Intercontinental Championship tournament, beating Daniel Bryan in the main event in the finals, and then subsequently lost the title to Jeff Hardy. But Hardy hit AJ Styles in the head with a knee brace that he needed medically because AJ Styles had attacked his knee prior to get out of that match with Jeff Hardy, which he eventually lost via knee brace, and then lost the Intercontinental Championship. So AJ Styles is saying, well, Jeff Hardy, you cheated. You shouldn't be Intercontinental Champion. Sami Zayn is saying, well, neither of you should be Intercontinental Champion because I never lost the belt. And Jeff Hardy's like, I am the Intercontinental Champion, guys. Both of you need to shut up. I like the story. It makes a lot of sense. All three guys are masterful performers. It's a triple threat ladder match, which is cool. I'm sure it'll be very, very good. Three of the best in the pro wrestling business. And two of the best ladder match guys in the history of the wrestling business, as far as I'm concerned. Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy. I have seen some of the most impressive ladder matches ever involving Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, of course, the famous TLC matches, the great history there. My favorite Sami Zayn ladder match was actually in Ring of Honor against Kevin Steen. It was their final battle match, and it was insane. It was like one of the craziest matches I have ever seen. I guess it was El Generico back then, but it was like Generico's last match in Ring of Honor, I think, before going to NXT, right? Do you remember this, John?
Yeah, I think it was like Final Battle 2010, 2011, something like that.
By God, that match was nuts. And we've seen Sami Zayn in Money in the Bank ladder matches as well. Very, very good ladder match performer. So I'm excited for this. AJ, AJ's great all around. Ladder matches, I don't really remember any standout AJ Styles ladder match performances. Not like Sami and Jeff, right?
Well, that's because a lot of people didn't watch TNA, so that's pretty much why you don't remember any great AJ ladder matches.
Did he have great ladder matches in TNA? I remember a lot of great matches, Daniels and Joe and all those matches he had with those guys. Incredible stuff, Kurt Angle. Like, AJ had some great matches in TNA. Of course, all his great King of the Mountain matches. But ladder matches, I don't know. I'm joking about the King of the Mountain match. That was stupid. But ladder match?
For me, I remember Elevation X because he was in a bunch of
Yeah,
those weird kind of gimmick matches.
but
Those were pretty good.
that wasn't a ladder match. That was like you had to climb scaffolding to get to the ropes that were in an X above the ring, and then you had to scale the ropes to grab the X, which was, you got to get that X, man. What was the point of the X anyways? It wasn't the belt. It was just like you win the match, right? Just like, well, you win the match. You've won the X. Remember that X
Well,
that they had?
sometimes it had the belt. Sometimes they
Yeah,
had the belt. When they didn't have
but
a champion, they had the X.
sometimes they just had an X.
Yeah.
Let's fight to win the X. What is it? Well, it's a big plastic letter X. What do we get if we win it? The X, man. You get the X. Do we get any title shot? No, but X. It's cool.
Well, you won the match.
You can play tic-tac-toe if you get enough of them, right?
What was worse, when they had the belt sometimes would fall off, so they have to have someone go up and put the belt back up. That's when it got kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. So I asked you for AJ Styles' great ladder match performances, and you really didn't have any. So, yeah. I made my point, John. Thank you for helping me make my point. I don't really remember any. I'm not taking anything away from AJ. He is an amazing wrestler, and I think that this match will be amazing. And if we're looking for some standout AJ Styles ladder match performances, I think we might see it here coming up at the Clash with Jeff Hardy and Sami Zayn. Like, how could this match not be great? How? And how could this not be match of the night? Like, if this isn't match of the night, it's going to be a good pay-per-view, right? If somebody can top this, it's going to be a good show.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. I'm also looking at the sense of, if this isn't the best match of the night, this is going to be a really bad pay-per-view then, because, like, if something was better than this, like, oof, this is a very bad pay-per-view. That means this match really under-delivered and something else was able to top it. So I would be very disappointed if that's the case, but hopefully not. Though I'm a little skeptical too, because we just saw the triple threat match this week on SmackDown. It was okay at best, so I'm kind of worried the ladder match might just be that.
Yeah, and why did they do that? That was weird. Why did they book them in a triple threat match before their triple threat match on the pay-per-view in 2 days? Like, Friday night, triple threat match. Sunday night, triple threat ladder match. I don't know. We did see AJ Styles stand tall at the end of that segment. Sami Zayn did win the match. And and I think he's going to... That Coke came back on me.
Die.
If you heard a cracking open of a can, it's a Coke. Sip of Coke for a working man. Coca-Cola, not John Jones Coke. So,
good stuff.
So, Sami Zayn, he won the match. AJ Styles hits a phenomenal forearm on Jeff Hardy, and then Sami pushes AJ out of the ring and pins Jeff. 1, 2, 3. Sami wins the match. But then AJ hits Sami and Jeff with a ladder, knocks them out of the ring, climbs the ladder, holds the belt, stands tall. So I think you could pretty much rule out AJ Styles winning this match because he got the big over there at the end of the segment. Sami Zayn got the win, but he didn't stand tall at the end of the segment, and it made me think that Sami Zayn is going to do some sort of trickery, some sort of sneaky, ultimate opportunist edge style win where he sneaks in and gets the belts and climbs the ladder and remains the true finally undisputed Intercontinental Champion. I think Sami wins this match. I think, Jeff and AJ will be battling and Sami will knock him off the ladder or something. AJ will hit a big move on Jeff and then Sami will climb up. It'll be a similar type of deal where Sami kind of steals the win and remains this heel Intercontinental Champion character. I think Sami gets the win. What do you think, Johnny?
I had you all the way until Sami gets the win. The way I looked at it was that Sami won on SmackDown, so now Jeff's going to win at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, Sami won on SmackDown. AJ got his little thing at the end of the match. So you're saying, WWE 50-50 booking, they put Jeff Hardy up on top. I mean, that would make sense. That is very WWE to do because they know they're going to put Jeff over on Sunday. They decide to give AJ's a little shine and Sami a little win, right? But I don't know. I'm going to stick with Sami. I mean, what you're saying doesn't not make sense. It totally makes sense. But I just think Sami with the Intercontinental title is fun. I could see them going there. And if they don't, I don't know. What do you do with Jeff and the Intercontinental title? Continue the feud with AJ or Sami?
Well, I think worst case, we have a non-finish where one person gets one title, one person gets another title, and we still don't have an undisputed champion. That'd be the worst thing to happen if they did that.
That'd be the worst thing to happen. I agree. I really hope they don't do that. Let's have a clear winner. Sami Zayn was complaining that he had to defend his title in this triple threat ladder match so he could lose and then continue to complain, saying that the match should have never happened and that Jeff is an illegitimate champion and Sami and Jeff can go on and do their thing unless AJ is going to stay involved in it, because other than this, I don't really know what AJ does right now. SmackDown's a little weird as far as their singles division. Roman Reigns as the top guy in a heel role is a bit strange because they don't have a lot of strong baby faces to go up against him. That's why Jay Uso is getting a title match, right? Because they just don't have a lot of strong baby faces on SmackDown to face Roman right now. It's a very heel-heavy brand. You got The Fiend, who I'm not sure. I think they try to make him a babyface sometimes, but he seems like a heel. He's making Alexa Bliss act kind of mean, I guess. Although she beat Lacey Evans, so is she a babyface? I don't know. The WWE's babyface heel, the lines are just non-existent at this point. We'll talk about the Hurt Business later, but that made no goddamn sense on Raw, which we'll talk about. Fuck. That was dumb as shit. But, yeah. What does Roman do post, Jey Uso? What does Jeff Hardy... Where do Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and Sami Zayn go if they don't continue on with each other after this? SmackDown's a weird brand right now, right? Baron Corbin's there. He's a heel. He just beat Matt Riddle clean on SmackDown this week, which was a bit weird. But Roman's a heel. The Fiend is kind of a heel. Braun Strowman, I think, is a heel. He's on Raw Underground now. I don't even know. It's confusing, There's a lot of heels on SmackDown. Not too many guys, not too many baby faces to go up against this new heel Roman Reigns.
Yeah, no, you have a very good point there. If anything, you have to make some guys into faces now.
Mm-hmm.
Sheamus would be one.
That's why Jeff Hardy not winning the match, not being Intercontinental Champion, and then going up against Roman would not be a bad thing. Jeff and Roman is an interesting story going forward.
It is, but it seems like it's way, way too soon. If anything, Jeff, even if he doesn't win, he's going to continue feuding with whoever wins the match, right? So, if anything, if you get Roman Jeff, that's going to be Survivor Series, maybe even TLC. TLC, I think, would make more sense.
Why would Sheamus turn babyface? Isn't Sheamus involved in a thing with Big E? They weren't on SmackDown this week, but last week, Big E showed up on SmackDown and attacked Sheamus as revenge for attacking him, right? That was the whole thing. And then Big E attacked the security guard who was working for Sheamus that led Big E into the trap. So Big E and Roman, I think down the road is the plan. That's what it seems like. As far as babyfaces on SmackDown, Big E is one of your best options. But he's not on this pay-per-view and not on SmackDown this week.
Well, you always got to wonder if people take these 2 weeks off kind of thing, then they come back. So people always speculate when stuff like that happens. But this is the thing about having these pay-per-views every so often. These feuds continue. I could easily see Roman, Jey Uso. This could last more than just the Clash Champions.
This is a good feud. I'm enjoying this very much. So, just to recap there, the last one, you're taking Jeff to win?
Yeah, Jeff to, I guess, become the undisputed Intercontinental Champion.
I'm going to go with our boy Sami Zayn from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. From Laval, Quebec, Canada. Okay, Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus Jay Uso. Now, I think that this has been done very, very well. The progression of this storyline, the progression of Roman Reigns into this heel role. At first, he was kind of teaming with Jay Uso. He was friendly with Jay Uso, but the tension seemed to kind of build, and you could see Roman wanting to still be cool and still have that love for his cousin Jay Uso, but at the same time recognizing that Jay Uso is trying to take the Universal title from him. He is trying to take that top spot away from him, and he is defending that spot. So Roman, he may be doing some dastardly things. He may be siding with Paul Heyman, but you kind of understand the character's motivations. You may not agree with what he's doing. Like, he cuts this big promo on Jay Uso at the end of SmackDown and then sucker punches Jay Uso and yells at him at the end of SmackDown. Now, you may not agree. You may think, well, that's a heel move. That's a bad thing, Roman. But you understand why he's doing it. And so often in the WWE, we talk about this all the time on the show, the character motivations aren't there. They don't make sense. But with this whole storyline, Jay Uso, everything he has said, everything he has done has made sense. Everything Roman Reigns has said and done has made sense. They have built this matchup to mean something. Excellent work. Excellent work by the WWE, by Roman, by Jay Uso. Really impressed with his promo on SmackDown this week. Roman and Jay Uso in the middle of the ring for a promo, and Roman just went off. Roman telling Jay that he can't handle the pressure or the accountability that it takes to be the top guy. Roman saying, well, it's not your fault. You're a twin. You've always had to rely on somebody. I've always had to stand on my own. You can always rely on your brother. He says that Roman says the entire family relies on him to provide, to be the tribal chief. While Uso, he should just be happy being one half of one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Roman says, it will never be you, Jay, because it will always be me. And it's mean and it's harsh, but it's real. You feel it. And look, they may not really mean everything they're saying, but there's some reality behind that. Jay, and when Jay started talking to Roman saying, well, what if you're wrong, Roman? What if it is me? Why can't I be the one to provide a better life for my children, for your nephews? Jay says he's been battling this his whole life. People always say, oh, that's Roman Reigns. And which one are you? Which Uso are you, Jay? And that can't be fun for Jay Uso. Great promo from Jay Uso. Great promo. Jay Uso saying, now people will remember my name because they'll say, oh, you're the guy that beat Roman Reigns for the Universal title. And Jay Uso goes to leave. Roman leaves, goes through the curtain. Jay Uso's on the ramp. And then Roman sucker punches him, Superman punch from behind. And then he just lays into him, starts yelling at him, saying him, take the payday, shut up, take the ass whooping that comes with the payday, but you will never take this title or my place at the head of the table. Just going hard. And, there is an element of truth to that. It's a wrestling family. Roman Reigns is the chosen one. He's the top guy. He's the new Cena. He's the new Hogan. He is a mega star in professional wrestling. He's the guy. Jay and Jimmy Uso are a great tag team. But there's got to be a part of Jay Uso that says, I wouldn't mind being the guy. I don't think that there's a professional wrestler walking this earth that isn't the guy that doesn't want to be the guy. And like Stone Cold Steve Austin has said, if you don't want to be the guy, if you don't want to be the man, you don't want to be the world champion, get the hell out of the business, right? And a lot of guys have that mentality. You want to be the top guy. There's got to be a part of Jay Uso that wants to be the top guy legitimately. He may recognize that, well, that's not my place, but when Roman Reigns is saying it loud to your face in a promo, it feels real. It looks good for the viewer because we imagine that there is some truth to that. Great stuff. Great build. I think the match could be really good too. I don't know. Jay Uso is a great wrestler. Roman Reigns is a very solid wrestler. Jay Uso in a one-on-one main event scenario is unproven, though. So Roman is going to have to, carry a lot of this, but Jay is capable. And these guys are family, When you know a guy really well, when you've been wrestling your whole lives against each other, wrestling, play wrestling, all that stuff, growing up together, you could go a little harder. You could be a little more snug because it's all good. You're going to be riding together after the show. You're going to go to have some drinks and party after the show, but you're not going to drive, Usos, okay? Don't drive after you drink, Usos. When Roman was talking about the accountability of being a top guy, I was like, oof, what are you talking about there, Roman? You should be partying. It's okay to let off a little bit of steam after a show, Johnny North. The wrestling business is built on that, goddammit. You better get with the program. Ask Chris Jericho if he should be partying or not, okay? Ask
we'll bring
Carl
it up
Anderson
NXT later, I guess.
Ask Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows if they should be partying or not. Oh, yeah, I guess maybe not in pandemic times, but you can have a couple drinks with your brother that you just had a match with, If you're wrestling with a guy, you can have drinks with the guy. It's no problem, okay? So, they're all good, and I think that this match has the potential of being excellent. So I'm giving this whole feud top marks. I think this has been great stuff from WWE. Top to bottom, fantastic. I think Roman definitely wins, though. And that's the thing that they may not have done in this feud is they haven't quite convinced us that Jey Uso is really going to walk away Universal Champion. Which would make it even crazier if he did, but, unlikely. Roman's first defense since winning the title. He's facing a tag team specialist, Unlikely. But good feud, good emotion. And I think Roman's going to have to cheat to win to beat Jey Uso. Paul Heyman providing a distraction before Roman hits a spear, something like that. Maybe Roman low blows Jey Uso because he's desperate because Jey has him on the ropes. Jey has him in trouble. Roman hits a low blow with a distraction from Paul Heyman and then the spear. That could happen too. But I think either way, no matter what happens, Roman Reigns 100% walks away still Universal Champion. But I'm fine with that. I think they've told a very good story. They've elevated Jey Uso. They've shown that he can be a legit top guy in the company. He's held his own. He's cut great promos. He showed that emotion. Are you as enamored with this storyline as I am, Johnny? Because I think it's been great, man. I think the progression of Roman's character, the character motivations, the detail, it's all been very well done. And it makes me think, like, maybe they brought Heyman back and just said, okay, you write the Roman stuff. We want the Roman stuff to be good. We know that you probably can't handle a whole brand, but you could probably handle, like, one story. Like, I wonder who's doing this stuff because it's so good, it almost seems like it's separate from the rest of the terrible product. The story is so cohesive that it's like, it doesn't make sense that the WWE at large is capable of putting something like this together. Because the rest of the show, especially Raw, doesn't really make a lot of sense. What do you think? Who's writing? Who's booking this shit? What's going on?
Well, in the end, it all comes down to what Vince says, right? But I think, obviously, Bruce Pritchard has a hand in this. I think Paul Heyman probably has a hand in this. Yeah. And that's what makes it good, is you have a lot of different creative minds, and they're all throwing ideas back and forth, and you're getting something a lot more pleasant than just whatever bunch of writers that don't know much about wrestling. And that's what it seems what Raw is pretty much week in, week out. So when you have guys that actually know about wrestling, you see an actual storyline that makes sense, Yeah, I think you can credit Heyman. I wouldn't be surprised if Heyman's behind this. It makes a lot of sense because things actually make sense in a storyline, and it's actually rare in WWE when you see that.
It's so rare. It's incredibly rare that this happens, where storylines actually make sense and the build is good and you enjoy the promos. Crazy. Great work from Roman Reigns, too. Hey, he's a hell of a heel. Isn't that crazy? Like, it seems like he was a heel for a long time. They just didn't want to go there. And now that they've gone there, it's like, yeah, he's very good at this. You know, when he gets mean, when he gets like, this is my spot, get the hell out of here. I like that. It's good. It's convincing. It's more convincing than the other stuff he was doing, right? Like this heel Roman, like it seems more true to life.
The only problem is he doesn't have that top face, that guy that you really want to see Roman beat, or the guy that beat Roman. You don't have that, unfortunately. Like when you had like Cena and Edge, you kind of had that. When you had like Rock and Austin, when one was clearly a face, one was clearly a heel, you had that.
Mm-hmm.
Here you don't really have that. I mean, you have a bunch of somewhat faces, and Roman pretty much is the heel, but you don't have that one guy you really want to see beat Roman.
Might be a good time to turn AJ Styles babyface.
Yeah, but he's been too much of a jerk. Like, it's hard to get behind that.
Yeah, but now Sami's like out jerking him,
AJ was really good actually with the back and forth at the end, I thought. Was making fun of them for like putting the belt up. Thought that was good.
Well, you know who I always want to see as a world champion, who's not around right now, but he's a big-time babyface and will be coming back to SmackDown at some point. And when he does, look out, baby! You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't wait for Roman Reigns to beat Daniel Bryan. It'll be a good match.
I mean, yeah, it's going to happen. But, like, why you got to say it like that? Come on. Daniel Bryan. My man D. Bryan. Oh, I miss that guy. He should be back soon, right?
I don't know. He could take time off, no? Like,
yeah,
he deserves it. Like,
yeah,
I don't mind him taking time off.
Why rush to come back right now, right? Like, what's the point? No fans. Like, come on. Why rush to come back? They're not doing any great TV.
Well, he's doing enough TV. I'm sure he's filming the next season of Total Bellas, so he's still working.
Are they still doing that? I thought they canceled Total Bellas.
Did they? Well, that'd be great if they did, but I wouldn't be surprised if stuff like that comes back.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm confusing it with the Kardashians. They're not doing Kardashians anymore, John. I know you're sad. So Roman definitely beats Jay Uso and retains the Universal Championship. Let's go to some stuff that's a little bit less good. Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship against Randall Orton in an ambulance match.
The main event.
No, Roman's the main event, no?
Ooh, I don't know about that. Like, to me, the ambulance match, that really sells it more than, like, Roman versus Jey Uso.
Roman is the man, though. It's his yard. It's his show. It's his company. He's the top guy. He should main event every show. He's Hulk Hogan. He's John Cena. He's the top guy. Like, there's nobody bigger than Roman Reigns. It's his first title defense. Not main event? Come on. No. He must be the main event. Drew McIntyre in an ambulance match? What are even the rules to an ambulance match?
You got to throw your opponent in an ambulance.
It's like a casket match, except an ambulance. You just got to throw him in the ambulance and close the door. That's it? That's the match? Because there have been different rules over the years. Like, I remember one ambulance match where it's like you just pin him and then you throw him in an ambulance. Wasn't that it at one point?
Possibly. But I remember the last one I can remember, I believe it was Ryback against Cena. And I think they went, like, through the ambulance.
Right.
But that still counted.
Okay. I don't know. Ambulance match. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. It's not, the build to this has not been great. Just a lot of guys attacking each other. Randy and Drew just like, attacking each other, hitting each other with finishers.
Breaking jaws.
Yeah, breaking jaws. Drew McIntyre wrestling with a broken jaw. Seems to talk and wrestle fine, though. I don't really know what's supposed to be hurt on Drew. He's supposed to have this injury, but he's like wrestling and talking. And Drew McIntyre beats Keith Lee by disqualification on Raw this week when Randy Orton attacks Drew with a chair just after Drew hit the Claymore kick on Lee. Now, the stipulation of this match was that if Keith Lee won, he would replace Randy in the ambulance match at the pay-per-view for the WWE Championship. So Randy Orton...
Randy wasn't able to wrestle.
Well, why wouldn't he be able to wrestle?
Because he got Claymore too many times the week prior.
Uh-huh. So Randy shows up, and of course he attacks Drew McIntyre, costs Keith Lee the match to make sure that Keith Lee can't, even if Randy isn't medically cleared, well, Keith Lee can't be involved because he just lost the match to Drew McIntyre. Which, obviously Randy would attack Keith Lee if there's any doubt that he won't be medically cleared for the match, right? So that was dumb. And then Randy punts Keith Lee for good measure there. And then he cut a big, long promo about the ambulance match with Drew McIntyre. And Randy's promos have been good lately. This was not. This took forever.
It's a little long, but it got the point across.
What was the point? That they're having an ambulance match?
And he's going to win. That's all you got to say. I'm going to beat you. I mean, he took like 5 minutes to say it, but it's pretty much what he said.
Takes 5 minutes to say something that's pretty obvious that you don't even need to say because you signed the contract for the match. Why would you ever be in a match where you're like, I am going to lose? No one has ever cut that promo. Unless it was like a joke promo. But like these promos where they're like, I'm going to beat you at Clash of Champions. And when I beat you, I will be WWE champion. And I will beat you by kicking your face in and beating you with the 3 letters that everybody's scared of. R-K-O. Like, it takes forever to say something super obvious. But he says it in like a million different ways. It's like, Drew McIntyre, Sunday night, Clash of Champions. I'm going to beat you. And when I beat you, you won't know what to do with yourself because you won't be the champion anymore. Because I will be the champion. And it's going to be in an ambulance match. And let me walk over here to this ambulance. I'm going to put you in this ambulance. And then it's going to take you to a medical facility. And you'll be taken care of by medical professionals. And then you may come back with the stolen ambulance in a couple weeks and attack me, but I'll be WWE champion because I'm going to beat you at Clash of Champions, which is on pay-per-view or the WWE Network. And I'm Randy Orton, and I'm going to beat you with the RKO. Like, it's goddamn forever. And I'm going to have a lot of baby oil. And I'm going to be real greasy. I might get a spray tan before the show. Like, fuck. Say something in your promo. It's so boring. So boring. Took forever. Shut up, Randy. Shut the fuck up, Randy. That's what I was saying. Shut the fuck up.
Well, regardless, I think he's going to win. I think we're going to have a new WWE champion this Sunday.
Yeah? I disagree. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't know. Because at the end of the show, Randy hit RKO on Drew McIntyre and stood over him to close Raw. Randy looked too good at the end of Raw. Looked too good.
Put the title on him. He's not good. Put the title on him.
That's just what you want to see because you love Randy. I think Drew is definitely winning the ambulance match. All right?
Well, they built up Randy for so long, and like, who else is there to beat Drew? Randy's the perfect guy to do it.
I don't know, somebody else. They'll come up with somebody. You know? You don't need to beat Drew now. I don't think Randy's the guy. I think Dominic Mysterio is probably the guy, you know, if we're being honest.
Oh,
It's gonna be
Dominic was
Dominic.
terrible this week on Raw.
He looked like a child in there. It was like men against boy. Too many guys in the ring that look like real wrestlers, and then Dominic Mysterio. When he was in there with Andrade, I was like, come on. Come on. Andrade's a real man. He's a grown-up, you know? He looks tough. He looks like a wrestler. And then he's standing there with Dominic Mysterio, and it's like, ooh, okay. Not good.
I'm actually more upset with Rey Mysterio because, like, he's the one who's put us through this hell. Like, he's the one who got his family on TV. Like, it's all his fault, really.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. That was terrible, too. Raw is so bad. So Randy, you think is going to win. I don't think he's going to win. I think Drew will retain the WWE Championship. Of course, Randy hit the RKO on Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was out at the end of Raw to help a bunch of babyfaces chase off Retribution because the Hurt Business, MVP, Shelton, and Bobby, right?
Cedric Alexander.
It was Cedric because Bobby had a match earlier in the night, right?
Well, I don't think MVP wrestled. MVP was just on the ringside.
So why the hell was Cedric double booked?
Because they do this all the time. A lot of guys wrestle twice.
Fucking Hurt Business makes no sense. So, Hurt Business, they're wrestling Retribution, whose names are Slapnuts, Teabag.
No.
Hold on. No, I have the names here, John. Slapnuts, Teabag, and Mace. Right? I got that right.
You got Mace right. That's about it.
Slapnuts. His name's Slapnuts, right? Shane Thorne, a.k.a. Slapnuts. Ugh. No?
Well, the actual name they gave him, Slapjack. To me, that's the best one out of all the three. I don't know about you.
Slapjack? No, I don't know. It makes me think of Slapnuts. That's Shane Thorne. Dio Madden is Mace. And Dominic Dijakovic, formerly a really good NXT wrestler, now a guy who's cutting weirdo promos as T-Bar or T-Bone or T-Bag or, whatever. Wasn't T-Bag? T-Bag is Trevor's rap name in Trailer Park Boys, right? Trevor was T-Bag.
That rings a bell.
That's his rapping name. Yeah, he's T-Bag. Trevor's rapping name. Okay, a little deep Trailer Park Boys trivia for you here on Wrestling Uncensored. So, T-Bag, Slapnuts, and Mace. I don't have like a made-up funny name for Mace. Pastor Mace? Mace and Betta. More money, more problems. You know what I'm saying? Seems like the more money we come across, the more problems we see. Mace! Where's Puffy? I'm just going to make a lot of Puffy jokes, a lot of shiny suit jokes, a lot of Biggie Smalls jokes. Actually, I have rap snacks. I have Biggie Smalls rap snacks that I'm going to use as a prop on the fucking Clash show on Sunday. I'm going to make a lot of Mace jokes, so get ready. I have Notorious B.I.G. chips, barbecue chips, Biggie Smalls style, that I will use to make fun of Mace on Sunday. So get ready for that, John, okay?
I don't believe Retribution's on the show, but okay.
Whatever, I'm going to talk about them. How can I not talk about T-Bag and Slapnuts, my two favorite guys in WWE? Slapnuts! So Slapnuts, T-Bag, and Pastor Mace are wrestling the Hurt Business. And the Hurt Business is actually winning. And they have them in trouble, which is great for a new group that just signed. And then a bunch of Retributions attack, like a million Retribution people show up, a bunch of ninjas in masks, like maskless or faceless, hooded foot soldiers, like the Foot Clan and the Ninja Turtles, right? Foot soldiers show up, except in the Ninja Turtles, The 4 Ninja Turtles, they beat up all the foot soldiers, and then they get to Shredder and Krang. In this game, the foot soldiers win, which is weird. And then a bunch of baby faces have to chase them off. Retribution runs away. And then Drew McIntyre's alone in the ring for some reason, and Randy Orton hits him with an RKO. Like, why did that have to happen? Also, Retribution is fucking terrible. Like, what the fuck is that? Are you kidding me? They cut a promo in the middle of the ring to start the show. And Mia Yim is obviously one of them. I think she's going to get a new name. Retribution.
She's Reckoning.
Reckoning?
Yeah.
Reckoning. What's the other one? Mercedes Martinez. What's her name?
I don't think she has a name yet.
Okay. So, Retribution, they've got these masks on. Kind of like, what would you call those masks? They're like evil coronavirus masks. Like, what are they?
It's the villain in Batman, Bane.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, it's like a Bane mask. Is that what they did? They just got like a cheap Halloween mask and put it on? Spray painted it, maybe? It's garbage. I think one of them, I think it was Teabag. Teabag goes, you guys, you do this for the payday in WWE. You're all here to collect money like whores. We're here to destroy the WWE. He said like whores. And I was like, what? And then MVP later on. And MVP showed up later and he called Retribution hoes. What's with all the hoe talk in the promo? Opening segment, there was a whore and hoe like thrown around by both teams. I was like, what's with all this hoe talk? Is Godfather coming back? So he'd be good.
They
for
also
Hurt Business.
mentioned the imaginary brass ring that Miro talked about.
Yeah. The brass ring, because when you're trying to do an anti-WWE promo in the WWE, you have to talk about the brass ring and how they're not in it for the money, even though they just signed contracts to be in WWE, and now they're just wrestlers. It's a 5-person group. There's 3 dudes, 2 ladies, and yeah. Not great.
Well, we're back to storylines that don't make sense.
Yeah, and okay, it kind of makes sense. They're evil people that hate WWE, and they're here to destroy WWE. Okay, they're a heel group. I'm willing to accept that, okay? Even though they're all obviously ex-NXT talents that are clearly NXT talents that everybody knows, from NXT under different names, and now they're giving masks and new gimmicks and stupid-ass names. Like, that's a bit of a stretch, right? Because we know... Like, Mia Yim was obviously Mia Yim. I was like, oh, that's Mia Yim. And now they're going to give her this new name, Reckoning, which is dumb as hell. So they get new names even though we know who they are because they're all on NXT. That's not great. Dio Madden was actually on the color commentary team for fucking Raw. He was on Raw. He was on the commentary team, and then... he got slapped by somebody and was like, oh, I'm just going to go wrestle now. I'm going to go try to be a wrestler in NXT. Right? Who slapped him? Or was it Brock Lesnar?
Brock actually gave him the F5 to the
table. Brock F5'd him. So now Dio Madden is Mace. And he wants revenge on all of the WWE. So, we know who these people are. So that's a stretch. But they're an evil group and they're an invading force. Okay, they're bad guys. Okay. They have dumb names. Fine. Slap nuts. Okay. But where you lose me is with the Hurt Business. Because the Hurt Business, they show up and they're like, we are standing up for WWE. We are going to take you guys out. We hate Retribution. Let's fight. So here I'm thinking, okay, they're turning the Hurt Business babyface because they're going up against this new evil group. So the Hurt Business is going to switch babyface, and they're going to be defending WWE now. Okay, I'm willing to accept that. I'm willing to accept a lot here. Hurt Business, really evil, attacking guys, cheating to win for months, heel group. Now Retribution shows up, they decide to turn babyface. Okay. But then they're still feuding with Ricochet and Apollo Crews. Like Apollo Crews and Cedric Alexander, Cedric who's now in, MVP and Cedric cut an in-ring promo about Apollo Crews, and then Apollo and Cedric have a match that Apollo winds up winning after a slight distraction from Ricochet, who was in Apollo's corner. Bobby Lashley and Shelton showed up to deliver a 4-on-2 beatdown on Apollo and Ricochet. So you would assume that Apollo and Ricochet are still babyfaces, but they are still feuding with the group Hurt Business, who is standing up for the WWE against Retribution. What is the Hurt Business? Are they a heel or a babyface group? I can't tell.
Well, I think it's mainly because there's no other big factions that they could have Retribution feud with.
Then fucking make one. Create one out of thin air. Like, it's not that hard. So they just take the Hurt Business and they're like, yeah, we're going to. So then kill off the Apollo Crews Ricochet angle. Forget that ever existed. Don't do it on the same show. The same show where Hurt Business is supposed to be the big savior of Raw. They also beat up poor Apollo and Ricochet. Why wouldn't Apollo and Ricochet join Retribution at this point? Retribution, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I don't get it.
Well, you wouldn't want to join Retribution because they're trying to destroy everything, right? So they're the worst of all the evils.
I'm trying to make sense out of all this. What? How does the Hurt Business make sense right now? Wouldn't you, if you were booking this thing, have killed off the Apollo Ricochet angle on Raw, or at least put it on hold until you can figure out a way to puzzle it into this whole Retribution thing, and not double book Cedric into a match against Apollo and also a match against Retribution? Loses to Apollo, and by the way, on the brink of beating this new group that's supposed to be all-powerful, who we know is just Dio Madden and that Shane Thorne guy from Australia and Dominic Dijakovic. Like, already, we know who they are, and against Shelton, Cedric, and Bobby, Shelton, Cedric, and Bobby are the more convincing team. It's just dumb on so many levels. There's no way the Roman Reigns thing is written by the same people as this. There's no way.
I agree with you on that point, but the way they book Retribution is kind of like the NWO. And with the Hurt Business, it's a lot like the Four Horsemen. Even though these two factions are feuding, still both heel factions.
Okay. Pulling out a real old reference to make this make sense. But I do recall the Horsemen were kind of a babyface team when they were feuding with the NWO. And they weren't still feuding with other babyfaces at the time. When they were feuding with the NWO,
jerks,
yeah, but they focused on the NWO. Focus on Retribution. Stop feuding with Apollo and Ricochet. It's like, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's the pay-per-view match, though.
What is? Bobby versus Apollo for the U.S. title. That's the pay-per-view match. Shouldn't Retribution attack all these guys? Retribution has 5 members. They have maybe more. They have tons more. Like, you could add more NXT people onto this thing, right?
Right.
Shouldn't Apollo and Ricochet just say, okay, fuck it, We're with you now, Hurt Business. You guys are right. You're right. Retribution sucks. They're dicks. We want to destroy them. We're with you.
Yeah, it might happen.
It should. It really should, because that way this actually makes sense. I really hope Retribution attacks Bobby and Apollo, and then Bobby and Apollo and all of the Hurt Business kind of join forces. Bobby is the U.S. champion defending against Apollo. I don't think Bobby loses here. I think the Hurt Business, the Retribution should all attack everybody here. That's what I'd like to see. But Retribution's been kind of quiet on pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, it's only a Raw thing, it seems.
It used to be a mainly SmackDown thing till they decided to make it only a Raw thing. Remember that? When it was like mostly on SmackDown, pretty much only on SmackDown? And then they're like, yeah, we don't really have anything for SmackDown. Let's move it to Raw. Big E was trying to lead the charge against Retribution. Remember that? That fizzled out.
Yeah, it died pretty quick.
This shit is dumb. Street Profits against Andrade and Angel Garza for the Raw Tag Team titles. Again, Andrade and Garza have dropped Zelina Vega. They've decided that Zelina was the problem in the team. It wasn't that they couldn't get along. It was that Zelina was driving the wedge. So they got rid of Zelina, and now they're going out on their own. Is this where they finally win? I think they might. Like, if not now, when? And if not Garza and Andrade, who to take the titles off the Street Profits? These guys have been champions for most of the year. Haven't done much. No other tag teams really around. Ivar from the Viking Raiders is hurt, so the Viking Raiders are out for a while. What are you going to do? Put the titles on Garza and Andrade. Give us something new, at least. Give us something a little different, and then maybe Garza and Andrade could feud with the new hot tag team on Raw, Humberto Carrillo and Dominic Mysterio. Ugh. Right? Because they were in a triple threat tag team match on Raw this week. It was Andrade and Garza versus Dominic and Humberto, and who was the other tag team in that again?
Seth and Buddy Murphy.
Right, Seth and Buddy. And Seth and Buddy didn't win. Seth kind of abandoned Buddy.
Actually, just Murphy now. Remember, he dropped the Buddy.
It doesn't matter what his name is. It doesn't matter. So, Street Profits, do they drop the titles here or not? I say they do.
Well, I thought they were going to drop it at SummerSlam, and they didn't. So just keep saying they're going to drop it until they finally drop it, I guess.
All right. How about the other tag team titles? Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura defending against the Lucha House Party. The SmackDown tag team titles on the line. Nakamura beating Gran Metalik on SmackDown this week. I thought the match was pretty good. I think Cesaro and Shinsuke retain, though. Lucha House Party can't get along. Lince Dorado pushed Kalisto down after the match. These guys are feuding now. Or, whatever. They're a tag team that doesn't get along. Cesaro and Shinsuke retain.
Yeah, I agree. Like, which members of Lucha House Party are in this match, by the way?
They haven't decided yet.
Okay. Well, either way, they're going to lose then.
Mm-hmm. Man, more tag team titles on the line. 3 tag team title matches on this pay-per-view. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, the women's tag team champions, against the Riot Squad, Ruby and Liv. Yeah, right. Shayna and Nia retain. This match shouldn't be longer than 5 minutes. Please.
Well, it didn't make the pre-show. It actually made the pay-per-view. I'm very surprised by that.
Yeah, no, this is on the main card. The pre-show match is Asuka defending the Raw Women's title against Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega beating Mickie James to get a title shot. Interesting.
Yeah, you actually win one match and you get a title shot. It's very interesting.
Yeah, when you never ever wrestle. But hey, why not?
But after watching Zelina wrestle, I'm not surprised this is on the pre-show because I don't think they're expecting much from this match whatsoever. I don't expect the title change here.
Zelina's not terrible.
Ooh, there was a lot of bad in that match. There was a lot of bad. Like, she hits the ropes like garbage. Like, whatever she was doing with that 619, it looked sloppy as hell. There was just a lot of moves where she just wasn't confident whatsoever in what she was doing.
Are we talking about Zelina Vega or Dominic Mysterio here? Because you could say the exact same thing.
We could say both, actually. Yeah, of course.
That weird 619, the lack of confidence, the awkwardness hitting the ropes. Yeah. Asuka definitely retains the Raw Women's title on the pre-show. Nia and Shayna definitely retain the women's tag team titles. Bayley may lose the SmackDown Women's title to Nikki Cross, although I don't think they do that until Sasha comes back and we can have Sasha versus Bayley for the title, right?
It's tough though, because like, how many times is Nikki Cross gonna wrestle her and lose? Like, it just feels like she has to win this one now. No, but I feel like I said that the last time too.
Yeah, it just happens. She's just there. She's a, you know, she's filling the spot. And that's it. That's Clash of Champions. So to recap here, Johnny, let's just give our quick picks here. We both have Bobby to beat Apollo for the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm.
We both have the Street Profits to lose to Andrade and Angel Garza, new Raw Tag Team Champions. I have Sami Zayn winning the Triple Threat ladder match for the Intercontinental title. You have Jeff Hardy.
Right.
We both have Cesaro and Shinsuke retaining and defending their SmackDown Tag Team titles against the Lucha House Party. We both have Nia and Shayna retaining the Women's Tag Team titles against the Riot Squad. I think we both have Bayley. We both have Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's title against Nikki Cross. We both have Roman Reigns over Jay Uso for the Universal title. I have Drew McIntyre retaining in the ambulance match for the WWE title against Randy. Johnny going with his heart, going with Randy Orton, new champion. And we both have Asuka to retain the Raw Women's Championship. I want to talk about the Mysterio family, but first I want to talk about something that Dominic Mysterio doesn't need yet because he's still too young, but us grown men, we all need Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code Ringside20. That's right. I said Dominic Mysterio doesn't have pubes, but you do. Get your shit together. Clean up your act and shave those balls. So you want Manscaped? You want to go to manscaped.com. You want to use the promo code Ringside20. That way, you get 20% off your order plus free shipping. They've got the Lawnmower 3.0. It's a tremendous razor. It is top of the line. You will not Manscaped with a better product guaranteed. Everything from Manscaped is top notch. This is what they do. They make ball care. They care for your balls. Things that you need and things that you didn't know that you need, but believe me, you need them. Your balls will thank you. People that see your balls will thank you. People that go near your balls will thank you. And look, we all want people near our balls, right? Make that place an inviting place. Manscaped.com. Use the promo code Ringside20. Get 20% off your order plus free shipping. Make your balls a nice place. A nice place to be. Somebody could really, take their time. Manscaped.com. Promo code Ringside20. How about that, Johnny? You like that? It's for you.
Well, your balls should always be a nice place to be at. I agree.
That's right. That's right. Comfortable. Seth Rollins, speaking about balls, he talked about Rey Mysterio's balls and whether Dominic or Aaliyah, the daughter of Rey, really came from his balls, the grapefruits of Rey Mysterio. Seth Rollins talking about the Mysterio family. Seth says he doesn't understand how Dominic's so much taller than Rey, and he doesn't look like Rey. It's not clear what Seth is saying exactly, but Seth says he has results from some kind of investigation. He's got an envelope, and he's got results. The Mysterio family comes out, everybody. Rey's wife, Rey's daughter, Rey's son. Seth wonders whether Rey is really Dominic's father. Seth wonders whether Aaliyah, Rey's daughter, is even his daughter. Seth wonders why Aaliyah was consoling Murphy last week during the cage match when Murphy was hurt. Rey says, look, Aaliyah's just naive. She knows nothing about this world. And then Aaliyah gets mad and she walks away from Rey Mysterio. And then Rey's wife follows and Rey follows and Dominic stands there for a while and he looks mad at Seth for causing this rift in his family, but then he follows along and goes to see what's wrong with his sister. And Seth says, I just came out to inform, not drive a wedge in the Mysterio family. I'm not really sure what was in that envelope, Johnny. What were the results of his investigation that Rey is the father and that's it? Like, what's the deal? Eddie Guerrero is the real father all along?
Well, if you remember the original storyline, Eddie claimed that Rey just couldn't have kids or something, so that's why Eddie had to step in and make sure there was a child. They didn't
Yeah, but
mention Eddie at all, but they kind of mentioned that this storyline's happened before.
so are they trying to say that those aren't Ray's kids? Like that's again? They're doing that again?
Yeah, we're doing
Ray's
that
not
again.
the
Yeah.
Ray's not the daddy. Again. I hope it ends there. So who is the father? Seth? Like that's impossible. What's he saying? Conan? Is it Conan?
Well, it's
K-Dog?
got to be someone who's actually going to show up on WWE TV. So
Why
I don't
not
think they're going that far into it. They're just
Why couldn't
trying to
why
the
couldn't
wedge.
why couldn't you bring back old Max Moon on WWE TV? Old Conan, K-Dog. No? What's he doing? He's busy? He's busy.
He's got a podcast too.
So? You don't think he'd take a role in WWE for a little bit? He used to be Max Moon, Johnny North. Don't forget Max Moon, brother.
Yeah, but he had a lot of health issues, and during the pandemic, I don't think him traveling is a good idea.
Where my dog's at, all right? That promo from Conan back in WCW. Orale! Arriba la raza! Remember that? Every time, and everybody would love it. People went bananas for Conan back then. Bananas. Conan was huge in WCW. Bigger in Mexico, too, but I didn't see that.
It's funny, Serena Dibb, she's starting to use the Tequila Sunrise,
Oh,
Conan's old finisher. So that was kind of cool.
that's cool. Conan! I love Conan. I think Conan is Ray's father, and Aaliyah's father, and Dominic's father somehow. So
The
then,
Aaliyah promo afterwards was pretty horrific.
oh
Like one of the
man,
worst things you could ever see.
I don't need you to protect me anymore, Dad. I'm a grown woman. I can do my own thing, and I'm Aaliyah Mysterio. Booyaka!
That was
Fucking,
like 1,000 times more life than what she actually had when she
I
said
know.
those words.
I
Actually,
know. She didn't say booyaka though. She should have, but you know.
like I thought she was laughing during the promo. Like,
Yeah.
do they tape these or is this live? Like,
I don't know.
did they not look this over? This kind of stuff. Like, I can't believe this aired on Raw.
And then she's like backstage, and Murphy's there, and he's like, "We're here for you in case you need us," you know. So what? She's like dating Buddy Murphy now. Like, what's the deal? What's the story there? She's with Buddy Murphy or Murphy Buddy, whatever his name is. It does, you know. Oh God, I don't know what this is, man. I don't know what this is, but I fear that this is more than just, oh, they're gonna give a little role to Aaliyah and she'll disappear like that Demi girl was. You know, remember her, the girl from the Bachelorette or the Bachelor or whatever, Demi something. Remember that with
Oh,
Ivar
Retribution
and
took care of her.
Angel Garza. Yeah, Retribution killed her, right? That's what happened, or they kidnapped her, or whatever.
Well, yeah, I guess it was 2 weeks ago. Tozawa died this week.
Tozawa's dead. Oh yeah, he got eaten by a
I think she-
shark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a really weird segment that I did not like.
Well, they
Aaliyah
killed off the
Mysterio.
ninjas.
Aaliyah Mysterio. That was really bad. The ninja stuff was really bad. So Truth is at the beach. R-Truth, Ronald Truth. Tozawa and a referee are in the water trying to get Truth. Truth thinks he sees a shark, so he drops the title, the 24/7 title, in the water. Then he goes to retrieve the title, and he does eventually. And then Truth finds like Tozawa's costume all like bitten up, and Truth assumes that Tozawa has been eaten by the shark that he saw, even though that shark didn't look like a shark. I thought that was like a fake shark that one of the ninjas had or that Tozawa had to like trick Truth, and then he was going to take the title. But then he didn't. Tozawa just went into the water with the referee and I guess got eaten by a shark. And then Truth was like sad that Tozawa was dead. What the fuck was that? How was that on TV?
Well, that was their way, I think, of writing off the ninjas, because like you can't have ninjas if you're going to also have like Retribution. I think people got confused on the factions, so I think they just killed off the ninja faction.
So there's no more ninjas, because ninjas and Retribution are very similarly dressed, right? I think, and I would be willing to bet that some of the ninjas are also Retributions. Now, a few NXT talents have tested positive for COVID. They have pushed back the NXT taping to next week. They were going to do a taping this week, pushed it back. So many talents have tested positive. Chelsea Green says she tested positive, but she's all right now. But other talents, now the thing from WWE that we're seeing now is they tell you that they had COVID, but they never tell you that they have COVID, right? When you find out a WWE talent, like when they come out on their Twitter or whatever and say, yeah, I have, or it's never I am currently dealing with it. It's, yes, I had it, but now I'm better. Right? And the WWE is telling them to do this. Do not say you have COVID. If you recover from it, then you can say that you have had it. So a bunch of people have it currently. We just don't know who exactly. But it's so many people in NXT that they had to shut down everything. No more training at the Performance Center. No more TV tapings. Nothing. Done. Dead. Now,
well, it was worse on the NXT show because they used to have the wrestlers around the ring. They had no wrestlers around the ring this week.
Yeah. Now, apparently, a bunch of NXT developmental talent were Retribution members in the masks in the ring with all of the top talent on Monday Night Raw to close the show.
Well, now they've changed things now. They've changed things now.
What do you mean?
Now apparently NXT talent, like if they're at the Performance Center, they can't go to the Amway Center,
right?
At the Thunderdome. They're going to keep them separate now.
Yeah, that makes sense. But they didn't do that on Monday night. Now,
no, they didn't.
Now, what if some of these Retribution guys gave Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre COVID-19? And what if it takes Drew McIntyre out for an extended period of time and he can't be WWE champion anymore? This could be bad.
I mean, there's speculation already on Raw. I mean, you didn't see Tom Phillips for 2 weeks. He came back finally. And Samoa Joe has been gone almost 2 weeks now. So, I mean, I think there's speculation already that there might be people on Raw and SmackDown anyways.
When people quietly disappear, it's like, well, they must have COVID, right? That's what we assume, but no one ever confirms or denies anything. It's confusing, but, that was dangerous. That's the thing that's going on in the WWE right now. They say they have it under control. They're testing everybody. They're being safe, but okay.
Well, Florida's opened up. I don't know if you heard the news, but Florida's completely open now, apparently.
What?
Yeah, they've apparently reopened Florida. Like, apparently you can, restaurants and bars, full capacity now.
What? Whoa.
Yeah, this is what's happening right now. They're still getting like thousands a day of cases, but they're still reopening Florida completely.
Oh, rest in peace, Florida. Florida was a nice place to go. I will never go back. Rest in peace, Florida. And we're with you, all of our Floridian viewers. We are with you through this tough time, and hope you're all right, because, goddamn, I don't think opening up when you're getting thousands of new cases a day is the best move, but hey, what do I know? I'm no doctor. I'm just a guy talking about wrestling. Fuck. Crazy.
Well, let's be fair. AEW, apparently there's been a couple of positive cases as well, though.
Yeah, for sure. It happens, right? Isn't Serena Deeb in quarantine right now?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but it's different with AEW because a lot of these talent are still like on like independent shows, and that's a problem.
Whatever independent shows exist right now, not too many, but I get your point. Okay, let's send Dabba-Kato back to the Independents, shall we? What happened there? He wrestled Braun Strowman on Raw Underground, and he lost. It was a TKO loss with some ground and pound. It was not great. It was not great. I actually enjoyed the... Was it Dolph Ziggler? Yeah, Dolph Ziggler and Arturo Ruas. I thought that match was a lot better on Raw Underground. That might have been the best match on all of Raw. Right?
Yeah, very possible. I can't think of a very good match on Raw. I didn't mind Asuka and Peyton Royce, but mainly for the fact that Peyton Royce was like scared for her life, it seemed.
Mm-hmm.
But that was about it.
Dolph and Arturo did a pretty good job on Raw Underground. Dolph is good on Raw Underground. Braun Strowman...
The punches are bad.
Yeah, the punches are very bad. Braun Strowman and Dabba-Kato was not terrible. It was not great. I haven't seen any indication that Dabba-Kato can actually wrestle. He's a big dude. You know, he's half Polish, half Nigerian. That's his real name is Babatunde something, and he was in the Greatest Royal Rumble as Babatunde and was eliminated in that match by Braun Strowman.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Babatunde. Dabba-Kato. Yabba Dabba-Kato. What'd you think of the Dabba-Kato Braun Strowman Raw Underground match? And, you know, making Dabba-Kato look pretty weak this week. You know, he had a little promo there in the ring with Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens slapped him. Dabba-Kato didn't do anything. Then Dabba-Kato lost to Braun Strowman on Raw Underground. Dabba-Kato's been kind of the king of Raw Underground, and this week, you know, got schooled.
Well, I think that was probably one of the worst debuts, really, for a guy. Like, I mean, technically he's been on Raw Underground in the past, but this was like his first big match against like a well-known star, and that was really just a great way to kill him off, it seemed to me. Because like that was the first time you actually saw him on the actual show Raw when he did the promo. And then it seemed like, wow, they're really trying to build him up into something. Like, Braun Strowman, we've been there, done that with Braun Strowman. What are you going to get out of Braun Strowman? Like, Dabba-Kato, like, we don't know much about him, and now it's like, well, he's already a loser, so why should we get invested into him whatsoever? I was disappointed, very disappointed.
I don't know what this was. You know, maybe Dabba-Kato, the real guy, Babatunde, is getting a big head for being the top guy on Raw Underground, and this was a little bit of a, you know, a check. WWE kind of letting him know, hey, you're not a big star, you know, you're nowhere. Or maybe this was just, okay, let's put Braun Strowman over him to show Braun is still the monster, and maybe down the road we'll revisit this. Braun will go back to SmackDown and let Dabba-Kato do his thing. Dabba-Kato gets slapped by Kevin Owens this week, kind of sets up a match with Kevin Owens. Dabba-Kato beats Kevin Owens on Raw Monday. He's right back on the top of Raw Underground, right? Like, if he can get a win over an established former champion like Kevin Owens, yeah, okay, you lost to Braun Strowman, but if you could beat Kevin Owens, then you're still a legit guy in WWE on Raw. And I would not put it past WWE to put Dabba-Kato over Kevin Owens. Maybe not in a real WWE match in the ring, in the arena, but on Raw Underground, for sure.
Well, that was a very weird segment because they were trying to do a lot of things at once when they had Dabba-Kato, Strowman, and then you had Kevin in the ring, and then Kevin got blindsided by Aleister Black, got crotched, not once, not twice, 3 times. And then you have Shane, yells out, yeah, 3 times is the charm. And like, no one in the ring is really selling it, but Shane, for some reason, said that line, and it's more like, yeah, guys, hurry it up. That's what it seemed like to me. I don't know how you caught that, but it just seemed like it was very off how that line was used whatsoever. It seemed like they were trying to do something, but all the attention was there, and they were trying to get the attention back, it seemed. It was very weird how that was put together.
Shane seemed legitimately annoyed that there was another angle going on while he was trying to sell his thing. It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely strange. I don't know why they had to kind of throw Aleister Black in there too. I mean, I know he's got a thing going with Kevin Owens and you want to continue that, but I don't know. It was awkward. It was an awkward segment. And Kevin Owens looked tiny next to Dabba-Kato and Braun Strowman. It's kind of like, get him out of the ring. He looks too small there.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he's not the tallest guy in the world, but he did get a slap in, and the guy didn't fight back, so it kind of made Kevin look really good.
Why didn't he fight back?
Because Shane told him not to. Save it for the Raw Underground, he said.
So, but then Dabba-Kato was mad at Shane because Shane tried to interview him, and Dabba-Kato was like not having it. I don't understand it. Like sometimes Dabba-Kato is like Shane's guy, and he listens to everything he says, and then sometimes he like hates Shane McMahon. Huh? Character motivations once again.
Mood swings.
Okay. Let's swing out of the WWE and go to AEW. I think we're done with WWE, right? We're done. We did the Clash preview. I'm done talking about WWE. I would like to talk about a WWE legend, though. Let's talk about Road Warrior Animal. He passed away this week, 60 years of age, which, Hawk died young. So did Road Warrior Animal. Like, you're not supposed to die at 60? That was sad, man. When I found out how old Road Warrior Animal was, I was like, man, wrestling is a rough business. Rough business. Sad. Sad that a guy 60 years old just passes away like that. He had a lot of life to live, but didn't happen for old Road Warrior Animal. He's actually been on the show. I've interviewed Road Warrior Animal. A big fan of the guy. If you've listened to the show at any point, you know that I've always regarded the Legion of Doom as the greatest tag team of all time. Without a doubt, bar none. There are a lot of great tag teams in the history of the wrestling business, but none greater than the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom, the LOD. Hawk and Animal. Fantastic look. Great in-ring presence. Stiff, solid, real-looking matches. Great promo. Of course, Animal with the great line. Tell him, Hawk. Like, that was great. When Animal would go and he would do his promo, yell, scream, do his thing, and then he'd go, and then when he's done his little speech, he'd go, tell him, Hawk. And then Hawk would go, well, and then he'd start his whole speech. And it's just great, man, the way they work together in every single aspect of the business. Of course, with their manager, Precious Paul Ellering. So sad that Precious Paul, he's had to go to Hawk and Animal's funerals. Sad, man. Shouldn't be that way, but it's the way the wrestling business is. Why not? Well, maybe not because of COVID, right? But you know what I mean. He had to see both of his guys pass away at relatively young ages. So it's very sad. Sad to see Animal go so young. Sad that the Legion of Doom, they're just gone, man. They're gone. So many legends of wrestling gone. And like I said, I think they're the greatest tag team of all time. I will never put another tag team above the Legion of Doom. A tag team would have to do a lot to be greater than the Legion of Doom. New Day has been very good. Like, they've come close. New Day, the Usos, the new generation of tag teams in WWE, new generation of tag teams in general, the Young Bucks, the FTR. A lot of great tag teams in the world today. A lot of great tag teams. A lot of great tag teams in the Legion of Doom's era. A lot of great tag teams have come since the Legion of Doom. I don't think there's ever been a tag team like the LOD. I don't think there's ever been a main event level tag team like the Legion of Doom. Definitely not in the WWE. And I don't think anywhere in professional wrestling has there been a tag team that could main event anywhere, and had that much of an impact. Like, these guys main evented Japan, they main evented, WCW, they main evented all sorts of territories, WWF. Like, they were the main event, top bill in every place they went. They had the thing called the Road Warrior Pop, of course. You've all heard about the Road Warrior Pop, which was Just a very big ovation because the Road Warriors would get the biggest roar from the crowd, the biggest pop of the night. So anytime you'd get a big pop, you'd be like, oh, that was like a Road Warrior pop. But it wasn't because nobody got the pop like the Road Warriors did. When that music hit, oh, what a rush. Nothing better than that. Nothing better. Those guys were badass. The goddamn shoulder pads with the spikes. They were innovative. They were menacing. What a tag team. Hawk and Animal, two big, tough motherfuckers from Minnesota. Gotta love the Legion of Doom. Rest in peace, Animal. We salute you. I love the Road Warrior Animal. Love that guy. What a rush.
Yeah, I remember when I met him, like, he has that larger-than-life presence to him, Like, those guys that pretty much, like, can take over a room kind of thing. Like, he had that. He's one of those guys. Him and Hawk. But Animal, I mean, with that face paint, it just, like, wow. Like, it really stood out when I'd always see him like that. It was kind of really cool. It's just so unbelievably sad that he died on his wedding anniversary, like, during the party.
Oh, really?
Like, I don't know if you heard about I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you heard about the details about that, but yeah, that's the really heartbreaking part about it.
60 years old, man. 60. You're not supposed to die at 60. That's sad, man. What happened?
Well, like too many nights of partying, man. Like I think it caught up to him.
Maybe. But he was always like the non-partier of the team, right? Hawk was the partier. But I guess when you're like even when you're the calm guy next to Hawk, it doesn't necessarily mean you're a Boy Scout. You know what I mean? Hawk was like one of the most wild men in the history of the wrestling business, right? As far as I think they made a dark side of the ring on the Road Warriors just because of Hawk, right? Hawk liked to party. Yeah. There's a video on YouTube of Hawk doing cocaine. Like, there's not a video on YouTube of many wrestlers doing cocaine, actively snorting lines of coke, but I have seen Hawk of the Legion of Doom do cocaine. Right? You've seen it too.
I heard about it. I think they showed like a snippet of it during the Dark Side of the Ring, if not mistaken.
Yeah, you never saw that video? Dr. Death was there. Luger was there. Brother. It was a good brother time. Looked like a great party, brother. Looked like a lot of fun. I don't think I'd be able to handle it.
Well, dark things happen, yeah. I'm not surprised.
Super dark, brother. Super dark. All right. Well, rest in peace, Road Warrior Animal. Our thoughts with the whole Laurinaitis family. Even John Laurinaitis. Even him. His brother. One thing that I did see on Twitter that made me laugh throughout this whole thing was somebody was like, oh, what was his name? It was something Laurinaitis, right? Which was his name? Jim?
Well, this was Joe.
Joe was
John.
Yeah. No. Joe Laurinaitis. I just know him as Animal, right? But Joe Laurinaitis was Animal, right? So somebody's like, oh, Laurinaitis, is he related to John Laurinaitis? And people are like, yeah. He's his brother. It's like, oh, I know John Laurinaitis. He's on Total Bellas. So the person only knew about the Legion of Doom because they know about the Bella Twins, which I think just shows you the power of the Bella Twins. Much bigger, popularity-wise, tag team than the Legion of Doom, at least with a portion of today's audience, which I think is very funny. Like, you would only know of the Legion of Doom by association with Johnny Ace and because of the Bella Twins. Like, that, to me, is very funny. I saw that on Twitter this week, and I was like, wow. Some wrestling fans don't know about the Legion of Doom, but they're very well versed in the Bella Twins family dynamic, which I think is great. Very funny.
Yeah, I have no comment towards that.
Why not? You don't think that's funny?
Oh, I definitely don't think it's funny. But I have no comment to say about that. We'll just move on. There's no reason to say things that
No, don't
are
say anything
hateful.
bad about Nikki Bella, by God. Okay? Say bad things about Artem if you want to, but not Nikki. Miro and Kip Sabian beat Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela on the opening match of AEW Dynamite this week. Miro getting Kiss to tap to the accolade, but I think he's calling it the game over now, although JR wasn't sure. I think he called it the accolade. But then Miro said game over a bunch of times after the match, so I think it's called the game over. Because Miro, of course, on Twitch, playing a lot of video games. We're also on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ringside Report. Miro and Kip over Sonny and Joey. Miro looked really good in the match, putting him against Sonny and Joey showed how massive Miro is, how intimidating he is. Big, muscle-bound, legit monster. 250 pounds at least, right? Big, thick dude. He looked good in the match. The match itself was, not great, but Miro looked good.
Well, I thought the match was kind of sloppy, but like you said, Miro looked good. But, I mean, he's the guy who's the star. He's the one with the pyro, so they're trying to make him look good. So I'm not too surprised. Like, he's the guy who's got the more TV train of all the guys there. So, again, I'm not surprised he knows how to make himself look good. But, this is his start. I'm not too impressed, though. Like, you would expect something bigger for him.
Why is he a heel? Like, he's kind of a babyface, but he's with Kip Sabian. Well, Kip Sabian is a heel.
He's really a heel.
Well, Kip's a heel, and Sonny and Joey are babyfaces, and he wrestled them, right? And he's teaming with Kip, so he's like on the heel side, but he's kind of a babyface. It's weird.
Yeah, I feel like this has happened to people in the past, though.
He kicked Sonny Kiss.
But they're supposed to be heels.
He was really rude to Sonny Kiss in that match. It was like pretty rough with Sonny Kiss. It was very heelish.
I don't know. I found like he was the way he should be. Just, take no prisoner kind of attitude. That's the way he should be.
Yeah, but you're a real life heel, John, so you just sympathize with that type of behavior, right? Come on. Let's be honest. You're a babyface in my books, John, but, other people, you're kind of a heel sometimes. Even you will admit it. You're babyface. Everybody else is the heel. You're the babyface. You're a true heel. A true heel believes what he's doing is right and everybody else is wrong, right? That's like the true heel. Fantastic, John. You're the best. Eddie Kingston. Talk about a heel. Talk about a promo. Great match. Great promo, rather. The match itself was okay, but the promo from Eddie Kingston, really good. His promo work is great. Talking about his match with Jon Moxley, how they used to be cut from the same cloth, but Moxley sold his soul to the devil, and Eddie says that Moxley's a sports entertainer, and he wants to go nose-to-nose with the sports entertainer, and then Moxley shows up, and they have a little face-off, and referees separate him. I thought that was solid. The main event itself, not the best match I've ever seen. Not terrible, but just, whatever. I didn't believe Eddie Kingston was going to win the championship. Moxley getting Kingston to not tap out. It was a technical submission. You got choked out with a bulldog choke, which, why are chokeholds legal in AEW? I thought chokeholds were illegal in pro wrestling, but whatever. Moxley retains the AEW title. Lucha Brothers attack Moxley after the match. Some guy called Will Hobbs tried to make the save, but failed miserably, because who the hell are you? And then Darby Allin showed up to make the save, but Ricky Starks showed up, and he speared Darby Allin, and then Starks started attacking Moxley, but then I think he was told, no, you're supposed to be attacking Darby Allin, so then he went back to Darby Allin, while Eddie Kingston kept attacking Jon Moxley, and so did the Lucha Brothers, and Taz was there too, and that's how the show ended. There was a guy I didn't know. Ricky Starks was there for some reason, continuing his feud with Darby Allin. What did Darby Allin and Ricky Starks have to do with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston? Why were they there? It was too confused. There was too much going on at once.
Because originally this was supposed to be a 6-man tag, but Archer got COVID. So Darby Allin and Ricky Starks were supposed to be in that 6-man tag. So that's why pretty much everyone came out after the fact because that's who we're supposed to be in a 6-man tag pretty much.
So it's supposed to be Darby and
Will Hobbs.
And Moxley.
Yep.
Again. Wait, what?
Against Archer, against Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks.
Oh, okay. But none of that happened, so Eddie Kingston got a title match instead because Lance Archer has COVID. But Archer is still supposed to get a title shot against Jon Moxley on October 14th. So they are guessing that in 3 weeks' time, Archer will be ready to go, which is a hope more than anything from AEW, right? I mean, COVID could be out of your system in 2 weeks, but it could not be. And Archer has COVID right now, so... But he didn't get it from AEW. Like, he got it at home, right? It wasn't like he got it at the tapings.
Well, he got it at another wrestling show, another independent show.
Oh, was it? I thought it was somebody at his house that was sick.
Well, someone came back from a show, and, yeah, they were sick, but they went to that show, apparently.
Okay, but Archer didn't work on the show.
I'm not sure if he worked at a show, but I know he went to a show. The family went to a show and tested positive.
Okay. Well, either way, Archer is out, but October the 14th, which is only 3 weeks away, there's only, two episodes of Dynamite before then? They got the 30th, they got the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. And then they got the 14th, the 7th and the 14th. So, yeah, 2 episodes of Dynamite before Archer's supposed to be COVID-free and wrestling the world champion. Good luck with that. Hopefully that happens. Elsewhere on Dynamite this week, we had some good stuff, I think. I don't know. Brody Lee was good.
Against Orange Cassidy? I don't know. That just seemed like an elaborate squash.
The promo was good. Yeah, but it was weird that it was an elaborate squash, wasn't it? Like, Orange Cassidy just won 2 out of 3 from Chris Jericho. For what?
Well, Cody got completely squashed. Cody got completely squashed, so that was kind of actually somewhat elevating Orange Cassidy in a sense.
Cody got completely squashed after defending the title week after week, and we're supposed to understand that Cody wasn't at 100% when he wrestled Brody Lee, and now Cody's back for revenge, and he took out a bunch of Dark Order guys, right? Brody Lee beats Orange Cassidy, and then Cody comes back after 5 weeks, and he's got black hair again, and he takes out some of the Dark Order guys with the masks on. And then Brody Lee cutting a really good promo on Cody after the match. My God, that was good. Like, that backstage promo from Brody Lee was beautiful. It felt old school. It was passionate. It was angry. And he challenged him to a dog collar match, which is awesome. That match is going to be goddamn violent. Blood will be spilled big time. Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. It should be a pretty good encounter, I imagine.
Did you not love that Brody Lee promo? It was great.
I liked it, but the thing is with the dog collar thing, like, we're only getting Cody's answer to it, so we're not going to get the dog collar match, I think, for another couple of weeks. They might wait till the anniversary show, maybe even the pay-per-view.
When's the pay-per-view?
November 7th.
Nah, do it on the anniversary show. Come on.
You're selfish. You want things right away.
Yeah. I don't want to wait for this nonsense. Hangman Page beat Evil Uno via pinfall after the buckshot lariat. Kenny Omega on commentary didn't go congratulate Page after the match. They are building towards Kenny versus Hangman. Does this happen on pay-per-view? Does this happen at the anniversary show? It will happen, though, right? They're building towards a few things. Kenny and Hangman and the Bucks against the FTR. These things are building.
Yeah, but with these particular feuds we're talking about, it feels like they're very slow builds, so it feels like that's definitely probably going to be pay-per-view.
I think you might be right. Kenny Hangman on the next pay-per-view, and then the Bucks versus the FTR for the Tag Team Championship. Tully Blanchard and the FTR cut an in-ring promo. Tully saying that there's a new 20-minute limit for their matches on TV, and if the opponents don't win, then the FTR win. I don't really understand that. Isn't it a time limit draw? FTR would retain the titles, but why is that a win? It's like a beat the clock for the FTR? Like, I don't understand.
Well, I was kind of just say that kind of thing. Like, that's pretty much the rules that they've set up, and with the contract that they set up, apparently they can make up rules like this.
Okay, so Tully Blanchard making FTR rules for the match for some reason. I don't really know why we need this, but maybe it'll become clear in time. FTR making fun of the best friends. Says the parking lot brawl match they had last week was just a backyard match and that they're comedic wrestlers, and then the best friends show up and they want a match. But then the FTR, they're like, well, you guys aren't 100% because you had your match last week. When you are 100%, we can wrestle. And then Chuck Taylor called them weenies a couple of times. But it will be SCU versus FTR on Dynamite Wednesday night for the tag team titles. So Kazarian and Scorpio Sky against FTR. Also coming up Dynamite Wednesday, it'll be Brit Baker versus somebody. She's going to be wrestling. I don't know who. Ricky Starks will wrestle Darby Allin one-on-one. Chris Jericho, Le Champion, set to wrestle Isaiah Cassidy. Jon Moxley will be appearing. Whatever that means. Chris Jericho versus Isaiah Cassidy. Why?
Well, because like he challenged him to a match next week.
I know.
See,
but
unlike the best friend thing, which made more sense, like let's have the match right now. For some reason, Isaiah Cassidy decides, "Oh, I'm going to challenge you next week," which just seemed kind of lame.
Yeah, so Matt Hardy comes out, cuts a promo. He's with Private Party. He was attacked last week on Dynamite, and he doesn't know who attacked him. So this week he's like, MJF might be a suspect, but I think Chris Jericho is my prime suspect. And then Jericho shows up. So Matt Hardy's doing like a detective show now. Jericho shows up, and he's like, screw you, Matt Hardy. Sammy Guevara, come on out. And Sammy Guevara's back. And then Private Party, like both of them, they take turns cutting promos on Chris Jericho until eventually we set up a match for next week. Like, that whole promo segment was a little bit confused. Why were both guys cutting promos on Jericho when only one of them is going to wrestle him?
Well, I think that's just giving them an opportunity. They haven't been ever put in that position where they get to cut a promo, especially against the top guy. So it's just giving them a chance. Going to the Matt Hardy mystery, though, I think it's obvious to me that the Dark Order was behind that.
Is it obvious?
They said like a masked guy attacked me. I mean, to me, that's super obvious.
Unless it was a Lucha brother.
Yeah, it's not as great because, I mean, this way in the end, you can have Matt Hardy versus Brody Lee. That's the end game. I think that makes more sense.
All right. Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa defeat Ivelisse and Diamante. Yeah, that happened. I like Jericho's promo with MJF way better than his promo with the Private Party. Jericho and MJF backstage, that stuff was really good. They're really good together. More.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where they're going with this. I mean, this is what we're leading towards, Jericho versus MJF eventually, because I think that'd be fantastic. But I'm not 100% sure if that's what's happening.
I think it is.
Is that what's happening?
Why not?
Because they've kind of built Jericho to go into a tag team now, so I don't know what the direction is for Jericho. I think they're just throwing him in stuff and just, create good television. That's what they're doing.
Do we do something with MJF on October 7th for the 30 years of Chris Jericho celebration on Dynamite? And what will that be?
Yeah, I wonder. Hopefully we'll have a better idea of what Jericho's future is going to be, especially towards the pay-per-view, because we'll only be a month away from the pay-per-view, so hopefully we'll have a better idea of what he's going to be doing. I mean, you could potentially do Jericho and Hager against MJF and Wardlow at Full Gear.
That's not bad. That's not a bad idea. Make it a number one contender match for the tag team titles while you have FTR against the Bucks. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it could work.
Yep. All right. Well, that's not too bad. So we've got some AEW coming up, and of course WWE Clash of Champions coming up tomorrow night, Sunday night. We will be live on YouTube, on Facebook Live, on Twitch for the WWE Clash of Champions watch along. I'll be here. My brother will be here. Big Johnny North will be here. I'll be tasting some snacks never had before, some rap snacks, some Notorious B.I.G. potato chips. I'm going to make fun of Slapnuts and Teabag for most of the night. It's going to be a good time. All right, coming up Sunday night, WWE Clash of Champions. Watch along. Be sure to check out our sponsors, Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code Ringside20 for 20% off your order plus free shipping. Go to Stitcher, stitcher.com/premium. Use that promo code Ringside for a free month when you sign up. They've got over 100,000 podcasts, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and more that you can listen to on any device that plays podcasts. Anything you could listen to audio on, you could get Stitcher. Go to stitcher.com/premium. Sign up today and use the promo code Ringside for a free month. And, of course, our friends over at IPVanish. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net to protect yourself on the internet. Protect yourself at all times with IPVanish. vpn.ringsidereport.net. You see those videos that say, this video is not available in your area. No more with IPVanish. vpn.ringsidereport.net. This is the Ringside Report Network. Go to ringsidereport.net. Go to Johnny North's Twitter feed at North Genesis. Go to his Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. Go to my Twitter and Instagram feeds at Dave Simon MMA. Send me a birthday present. It's my birthday next week. Johnny North already sent me a birthday present. He got me WWE Battlegrounds, and I will be reviewing WWE Battlegrounds in depth during our WWE Clash of Champions watch along. So check that out. Sunday night, I'll talk to you about New Japan Pro Wrestling on Sunday night. The G1's going on. We'll touch on that. We'll talk about Clash of Champions, of course, as it goes on. And I'll tell you all about WWE Battlegrounds, the new video game from the WWE and from Johnny North for my birthday, which is October 3rd, which is coming up. So get ready, okay? Get ready. For Johnny North, I'm Dave Simon. This has been Wrestling Uncensored. See you later.